start proceedings as the breakfast meeting. So that's why we're here. But it's a little bit different this time. We normally have no agenda. But this time I've invited people to bring something like a painting. Because what I thought I'd like to address is just to throw something in to start a discussion around kind of the notion of painting and architecture. It is a sense of something called the tyranny of the surface. It's something I've been working on with Sarah Pettit for the last year and a half. She's not here, but that's a work of hers in the corner. And we've been looking at the relationship between the extremes of painting, in a way. And one of those extremes might be the notion of painting as an object. The notion that painting might have no illusionistic space within it whatsoever. If you can possibly achieve that, in which case you then have an object. The other extreme is the bit that I'm interested in, and that's when painting is just illusion. The fact that it might just be fresco or something like that, or an extended sense of a fresco. So it's a natural extension of architecture itself. So anything in between them. Bypassing the notion of art being a kind of commodity that just kind of moves around and could go on any wall with a spotlight. Through that, thinking about how something like painting or art, we've got a couple of sculptors here as well, works in relation to architecture, so how it might address and how architecture might allow a space for art in a way that might be kind of more conducive to both parties, in ways that might be, used to be called site-specific, I suppose, but maybe more than that, maybe kind of integrated. So I brought Sarah's work. I brought a book, which is a very precious book of mine, and it's Alan Charlton's exhibition at House Esters, the pavilion by Mies van der Rohe in Krefeld, where the whole exhibition is designed for the house. And there's some interesting images where he's actually had the photograph the work through the windows as part of the work. So it's quite an interesting publication of both art and architecture coming together in a specific project. On top of that, I brought a couple of postcards of some mural paintings, if you like, in Florence. But it's a complete extension of architecture. It's an architectural illusion, whereby everything you see is actually painted, and there's very little of actual kind of moulding or spaces or anything like that. They're just flat walls. So I might pass those around later. But I thought we'd just kind of get talking about the whole notion of the relationship of art to architecture, and then diversify if you have to. It's just the way of starting. So, welcome.
Is it your studio space?
Yeah, this is my studio space, but yeah, it's my studio space. I saw my studio.
You're looking at it as you paint it?
Yeah. For example, in this case, in this painting, I put this canvas here, and then I saw the chair where I sit and the canvas with this perspective, so I decided to paint this.
Without a photograph?
No, without photograph. And in the other case, it's the same. Mm-hmm. But with this idea, this was the first one, and then I want to do a diptych with this for the same size. So again.
Came to the archive. I thought this place would be more of a underground. We go into with helmets, flashlights, looking into different pieces of portfolios, and coming here and seeing a difference in that made me more excited to look into more of the portfolios. We had a brief discussion about each of the students' works that were out already, and I took an interest into some of them because they used a sort of concept idea that wasn't really real, but they made it into a story. And then I like those kind of ways of creativity, creating like a storyboard for development into a world that you create. And so that's how I try to respond to each of the student portfolios. I guess I could start with this one. This is from Fabio's response to all the work that was in the archive. And so I remember him discussing that he wanted to have like a singular isolated island.
Statement. I think like when you have all of these different voices and you can create a framework like in the film to allow all of them to actually communicate, and some will resonate more than others with you, but they all have that same platform to voice themselves, regardless of the time that they were written. You know, we're all students of architecture in some way. We're all responding to these words, and they mean something different now, potentially, than they did when they were written. They're still powerful in that capacity, though. So it's not always because you have to build buildings, but to be honest with you, it's also respecting the act of making and that process of realization. And I think that communication with the Pompidou Center is interesting because I remember a film that I saw of David, and they took Archigram and Cedric Price to visit the Pompidou. The guys were not very happy about the building, similar way that. But at the same time, it's also like we don't really have so many examples of people trying to push that through. So, of course, these kids actually working on it, learning from them, have to push it much further. They showed all the proposals of the competitions in the third film, which I thought was actually really nice, because to see that situated, like only that project and Moshe Safdie's project had any real attempt of integrating technologies of that time, of trying to realize a building that was a bit different. The other ones were actually like brutalist, or this or that, or caricatures of history. And so it's kind of interesting to revisit those things, not as a blueprint for what you're doing today, but actually to just situate what it means for you. Like, are you evolving this radicality of architecture or experimentation? You know, why not? If it's situated today, it's not the same word, it's not the same time, it's really about stating a purpose for yourselves. Right? Also acknowledging that people don't give a shit about architecture outside. So you have to actually have some conviction about why this thing matters, and try to make that accessible to people, and try to educate people, not by telling them that they don't know something or they're stupid, but why this is an important thing for society. Architecture, urbanism, infrastructure, this stuff matters, no? Or shit for your generation. I mean, otherwise, what's the point?
Isn't it quite an interesting departure for the DRL to use a project like Pompidou to?
Is it a departure?
I don't remember you taking buildings like that before.
No,
Maybe you didn't, I just didn't ask the right question.
Departing it, no, it's the right question. It's a fair question too. We spent a lot of time trying to explore certain technologies. I think we have a really good handle on those technologies. But there's a lot of challenges. So the way that we structured the studio was to look at living spaces, to look at working spaces, and to look at cultural spaces. So these kids are working on reconsidering this work